All righty, I want to welcome everybody out to the August 7th, 2023 Beacon City Council meeting. Madam Clerk, you call roll, please.
Here. Chuck.
Here.
John.
Here.
Rick. Sam. Carl.
Here. All right, if you stand, should lead us prayer, please.
All right. Dear Lord, thankful to be here tonight and to discuss the business of our city. Lord, we just pray that as we conduct our business tonight, that we do so according to your will. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alrighty, in your packets, you've got the minutes from the June meeting. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes if there's no additions, deletions, or
Make a
questions.
motion to approve it.
I'll second it.
Having a motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Also, the financial report for June is in your packet. Any questions about that? Is approved motion, please?
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
Having a motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. All right, Scott, we're down to you, buddy.
I'm here tonight to introduce Sarah King. She will be your new contact person. She is taking over for me. So I'm going to take the back seat and let her run the show.
You want to run with it? Well,
Yep.
Let her run with it.
Sarah's doing good. Just take off, Sarah.
Alright. As Scott said, my name is Sarah. I've been with CRAD since April, so I'm coming up on 6 months in October. Today I just wanted to talk about some work that Melissa's been doing so that she had her third post call for work. Jason Espy is working on wrapping up the report for that. She submitted the Outdoor Recreation Roundtable Rural Implementation Grant on Wednesday. That's the extension of the RERC grant. 4 of those communities will be chosen to receive $10,000 each with the opportunity to receive up to an additional $1,000 for in-kind assistance from ORR. And after talking with Jeffrey Justice, they decided to focus on the topic of that grant would be around the disc golf course, as $10,000 would potentially be enough to complete that part of the action plan. And then the next thing I wanted to discuss is some work that I'm doing. I've been working on the Jenkins Wastewater Treatment Plant, EDA. Completed some of the environmental review for that, as well as the IPAC. And I'm waiting on a cost estimate from All Hester.
Already, thank you. The first one is the ones we're wrapping up is the recreational economies for rural communities. I always get my R's backwards. That was a series of meetings we had and calls and trying to formulate all this. This will help boost business in town along with recreation, those sort of working together. We just found out about this other $10,000 grant. One thing with the disc golf piece, they've already worked with the amphitheater and East Kentucky Heritage Foundation on a place to put it. So this will be something sort of quick and easy. I didn't know how popular it was, so I got to looking into it. The closest one we've got around here, I think, is Big Stone Gap. A lot of people travel to play it, and it's not just, there's 5 different courses and different levels from beginners all the way to professionals. There's people that makes a living playing disc golf. So we want all those folks to come to Jenkins at one point and check us out and spend some money and stay with us. The other one I'll add to this update because we had the meeting today. We chose Snobble, and I don't know if it's Snable or Snobble, but it's Snobble. They had a whole team of dam experts on there today talking about different things, so we're getting our scope of work done. After banging our head against the wall and applying, we finally got mitigation money to secure the engineers, to give us a scope of work of what needs to be done and how to do it to get to the next phase. So I've been told through the state that phase of money is already here. It takes care of that. As soon as we get that work done and completed, we'll have money to work on it. Repair the valve, the leak, and I learned a new word today is selective removal. You're not supposed to say dredge when you talk about the lake. Oh. Yeah, I had a wild horse today anyway. So they told me today, and I learned it's selective removal. So we're looking at selective removal to help with lily pads and the water quantity and quality. And I also push, and I keep pushing, once we get the dam fixed and we get the selective removal out of the way, the recreation piece is the boardwalk. And if you all remember years ago, we had the plans drawn up, and that's something we're still after. So it's safety, which is the dam, quantity, and quality of water is the other part, and then the recreation piece. So we've split it up in 3 phases, and it seems to be getting a little traction. So we're working on that call was today. So they're in place, and we'll get to work. They'll be in here doing their geotech work and getting ready for all that. I guess that rolls right into the engineer's report. 2 big things with the sewer plant part of it is we've moved some clean water money over in to do some general repairs to stuff. You know, it seems like it tires up faster than we can keep it going, but then we had the ARC match with the I&I study. So that's going to help us try to find where the water's getting into the system and getting too much water to the sewer plant. We did one phase 4 or 5 years ago. We got it from $1 million gallon a day during rainy events down to about 300,000, and it's inched its way back up to over $1 million. It just puts a lot of strain on the plant and employees try to keep up with it down there, but we're also looking at designing a new plant or completely redoing that plant with some funding that may be coming here soon. Flood recovery housing development, that's still in the works. The best way I can say it in this meeting is that negotiations are still going good with the property owners, and be meeting with the planners to show some conceptual drawings about the property and what it may look like and what the property owners' wishes are with their pieces that they're going to provide for that project. So
This is up on 23.
but it's close to town. I already talked about the wastewater treatment plant extension. Raven Rock, you've probably heard a couple announcements about different funding sources to help get started on the road, the meeting center, and the cabins. That's all in the works and still moving forward. One of the big pieces is water and sewer up to that project. We've got a community funding request in, and we were successful in getting one last year to try to get that done. So hopefully before long we'll see some moves on that. Probably one of the biggest ones here, and it's down the line in the list, but it's top of my mind, is stormwater improvements. Before the flood happened, that's one of the things we were looking at. The water lines were pretty good shape on. We're making progress on the sewer part, but just the stormwater system in town that was put in by Consol is old and out of date and collapsing in places and stopped up places, and we don't, to tell you the truth, know where it's all at. The storm on B&O Hill uncovered a 24-inch pipe that we didn't even know was there. It was against the bank on this side and covered up on this side. It just happened to wash it open on the downhill side. So we're going to deal with bigger rain events, but we're getting less rain and more damage seems to be the trend, and we've got to get on top of the stormwater. But that's part of the big planning that we're going to be doing with the DCMC partners. We've got to meet with them in the morning on next steps. They're the ones that will be working with us to do our planning for the, what I call the bigger money, the HUD money, which is the more difficult money to spend because of duplication of benefits and clawback remedies and all the things goes with it. So if we do a project and we do it right, we get the money, we get to keep it. If you don't track it, take care of the things you need to and keep up with it, there's a chance of clawing it back. There was a parish in Louisiana that tried the best they could to keep up with a lot of this recovery money, and they didn't do it right. They came back in and said, okay, there's about $30 million spent in your parish. Now you're going to have to raise your taxes to pay it back over years. And that's the main thing. To start off with, we don't leave no money on the table. Western Kentucky mayors and county judges are finding that they couldn't spend all the money that was available for their projects. And just to be upfront, the money for the dam come from money they didn't spend in Western Kentucky, but we're going to take care of it here. So big stuff's going. Stay tuned. I know it's been a year and everybody thinks a thing happened. It's just the process. When we turn in a project, and by the time they come and inspected it, and the time they set the project up, and then it reviewed through the PDMG managers, and it's almost like you're dealing with a insurance adjuster. You know, we say, okay, here's our damage, and then they go to Google Earth and take pictures and come back and say, okay, well, they don't think that was tore up in the storm. So then we have to show them some kind of maintenance record or fill out paperwork saying, no, it was all right before that. So that's stuff we're dealing with, but we're working our way through it. We've got a little bit of money, our first little round of money come back into the bank finally, because the way it happens, projects are set, FEMA approves it, they send it to the state approves it, then you get your money. And it's just now starting to trickle in. As it's trickling in, and we'll talk about this, I'll just go on over to the next one, let's just move this right on across. ERSys, which is helping us with all that, they help us with the scope of work, what it is, where it's at, and how it's to be fixed back. And then once FEMA approves it, then the money, like I said, is sent to the state. So as the money's coming in, we're getting our contractors together. The culvert repair had 4 proposals being submitted. These proposals are under review, and the contract will soon be chosen. I have not talked to anybody. There was some back and forth about what's to be done with some of the material and some head wall mitigation measures that goes with it. Road repair, we had one proposal that was way out of budget as far as what we were going to be allowed to use. So we're rerunning that one again, hoping to find some more contractors that will come back to us and say we can do it within that scope and that budget. The storm drain downtown, hopefully we'll get something moving with that one. All these are about the same. It's just getting the right contractors to bid on it and be ready to go. So the slips has been, we've got 4. We've got one Upper Dunham Road, B&O Hill, number 4, and at the sewer plant at the chemical building. And we've had to go in and do drilling to verify bedrock and show them how deep it is. Most disasters are happening in Florida and Louisiana and a lot of flat places. FEMA doesn't understand mountains and the way the water runs and what happens. They think you can just do certain things. I don't think they've ever heard of rail and cribbing, which if you know what rail and cribbing, if you see where they fix a road broke off, you drive rails, you put cribbing behind it, and you backfill. So we're trying to get those type permanent repairs approved and in place to fix those back right. Let's see. Anybody got any questions on everything I just said real fast there? Alrighty. Counselor?
So we don't have any plans on these blacktop soon?
Well, we have plans. We don't have the contractor right now. The contract, the bid, one single bid we got was about double what has been other places. Now, that don't mean we won't snag another contractor. I was talking to Mayor Hazard today at a meeting, and he said they're fighting the same battle. It's not only their plant caught on fire, our plant caught on fire. That put all the contractors that had been working behind. So I think we just got contractors that are afraid to get into another contract because it's coming up in the season and may not have time to complete the work. But we're working with them and seeing if there's an opportunity for the plant to run a little longer than it normally does and try to get all that in there. Council, we got budget amendments, first reading, 259A.
Budget amendment number 259-A, first reading of the budget amendment ordinance number 259-A, amending the City of Jenkins budget for fiscal year July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2023, to include a non-budgeted receipt from the National Opioid Grant Funds in the amount of $27,041.98, and increasing the expenditures in the area of grant funds non-budgeted receipts from East Kentucky Safe Funds in the amount of $70,242, and increasing the expenditures in the area of grant funds non-budgeted receipts from property sales in the amount of $12,000, and increasing the expenditures in the area of B&D funds non-budgeted receipts from the Kentucky League of Cities Insurance Services in the amount of $64,496 for damages from flooding, and increased expenditures in the area of general funds non-budgeted receipts from the LGEA coal severance tax in the amount of $20,822, and increasing expenditures in the area of LGEA funds non-budgeted receipts from mineral tax in the amount of $29,418, and increasing expenditures in the area of LGEA mineral tax funds non-budgeted receipts for the net profit tax in the amount of $2,777, and increasing expenditures in the area of general funds non-budgeted receipts from water revenue in the amount of $11,973, and increasing expenditures in the area of utility revenue funds non-budgeted receipts from PH5 waterline project in the amount of $44,239, and increasing expenditures in the area of PH5 waterline projects will be held at the City Council meeting on August 7th, 2023 at the Jenkins City Hall at 7 o'clock p.m. A copy of the ordinance with full text is available for public inspection at the office of City Clerk during normal business hours, Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock a.m. to 4 o'clock p.m.
All right, that's first reading, there's no action needed tonight on that. Motor vehicle watercraft property tax rates. Vehicle watercraft is .3299. And we dropped it a little bit last time. And not knowing what the balance is going to do, where our property taxes are going to be, and everything we're facing, I'd like to leave it where it's at.
Mayor, on the property tax, I agree with you. I think we should leave it as it is, but on the motor and watercraft property tax, we dropped it in 2021 is the last time we actually lowered it. And I just feel with the motorcraft and water and everything else, we can sit up and down on the street and watch Tennessee tags go up and down every day and people not paying it. And I understand we got to have money to run the city. I get that, we got to have it to get things done. But this is one tax I feel that it's not fair across the board in Jenkins. That's just my personal opinion on it. I mean, there's other, so in my opinion, just me making a recommendation, we're at 0.32990, maybe dropping it to like 0.30990. That's just me, because I just feel like that's just a tax that everybody in Jenkins ain't paying.
Do you have any people, I'm trying to see how to say this.
I know what you're trying to say. I get what you're trying to say.
There's a handful, and not as many as they were. I'd like to drop it too, because I've got to tag 3 of my vehicles right now too. But everything is so tight, and not knowing what the balance is going to do with I'm talking about money in general, not just that piece. And people replacing vehicles or not replacing vehicles. And if we want to do it, I'd like to look at it in a way we can see what it's actually going to cost us if we drop it to 2/10 like that.
Could we get that figure next month, or we have to roll on this now?
That's what I'm trying to look.
It doesn't have to be turned in until October 1st.
October 1st. So we have time.
We can look at that again then.
Okay.
I just think, we need to look at, we pay tax. Everybody in Jenkins, the taxes are crazy. School taxes are outrageous too. And at some point, if we can help the people of Jenkins, I think we need to help them. The times is tough with money and everything else right now. So, if we have to wait till next month, it's fine. But, that's just one tax. Like I said, property tax, my personal opinion, I'm fine. But when it comes to the motor vehicle and watercraft, I just think if we can lower it, because it's just one of those things, we need to really look at it. And like I said, we can wait till next month or whatever, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, we can figure and see what it's actually going to be as far as a hit. I agree with what you're saying. And I'm just trying to keep everything going and keep it.
And that's why I said low. We got to have money to run the city, and I get that. We got to have money, but if we can help and we can lower it some, that's just one tax I'd like to see us to look into and be able to drop it a little bit, put some money back in the people of Jenkins' pocket, you know.
We can do that. I'll get her to write something up and show us what the difference will be in what was collected.
When you go and do your vehicle and you look about it, it's on anything. It doesn't matter. I don't care what you're paying the tax on, power bill, anything. School tax is eating us alive. We the taxpayers.
So look into it maybe next month, figure it up and see where we're at.
Yeah.
I'd like to see what the difference would be.
I'd like to see.
I would too. And our way out of all this, school tax, it's the difference in the Letcher County school tax and what's here is some, and I understand that, it is building our tax base. And we get our tax base built and we can get a year running average and see where we're at, then we look at all these things and see what we can do to make it even more attractive for somebody to want to live here. With the federal correctional facility back on, it being built in Roxana, and that's great. My idea is I want all of them live in Jenkins that can, and that wants to. Once that happens, that tax base can grow to a point that the school taxes could equal out. You'd be paying the same as Letcher County as you are here, and there is a difference. But us building a town and building a tax base that lets us do that. And I can't wait till the meeting we have that we can do that and say, okay, we've got 400 more houses or whatever ends up being this many more new businesses and this stuff's happening and our revenue is coming in at a point to where we can look that year down the road and say, okay, here's where we're at and we're comfortable doing it, because that's one way to make the place look attractive. And I hate to throw this at it, but, one of my things with the casino was there's a place in Oklahoma did the same thing. They got their tax base built up, they've got their rates down, and they built even more and more homes. And they found a way to do that, so. Alrighty,
So we're going to hold this until next
yeah,
week.
we can table that one, property tax rate. If you want to, we can go ahead and do that tonight. And like I said, same thing, until we know where we're at with these buyouts. And I don't know, there's over 200 in the county. Exactly how many is in Jenkins, it comes and goes. And they've got to the last day to sign off on it and change their mind. So once they sign up for it, until they sign the deed over, they can change their mind. So we really don't know exactly how many it's going to be and how it's actually going to affect our bottom line as far as our tax base. Breathitt County is really running into struggles. A lot of people's moving Breathitt County to Prairie County, and it's making Breathitt County even less and less money to operate on the city of Jackson and Breathitt County. I was talking to their mayor and judge today in a meeting, and that's something they're really facing. So, property tax rate.
Can we make a motion on it tonight?
Yeah, we can go ahead, and that way it's out of the way, and we just have to.
I'll make a motion on the property tax.
I'll second that.
Okay. 0.3499 per 100. I got a motion and a
So,
second.
on your motion, you agree to table it till next time then?
On the-
Just so we put in the...
Yeah, for the current motor vehicle.
Table watercraft, yeah. Okay, motion and second, and the motion being tabled, watercraft till next meeting. Property tax rate at 0.3499 per 100. Motion and second, all those in favor say aye. Any opposed, say aye. All right. Alrighty, cheerleading roadblocker, is there any?
Nothing on
Okay, so it's for the Jenkins Middle School cheerleading. Y'all want to approve the roadblock
I
request?
make a motion that we approve the roadblock September 2nd.
Alrighty, having a motion second, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Alrighty, I see 1, 2, 3, 4 of the Jenkins Festival Committee. People that work all year long so we can have fun the last couple of days of August. I go to their meetings, I know what they go through, so. What y'all got tonight?
Okay, we're here to kind of give you all some ideas what we do. A lot of people say, what do you all do? You know, we want to throw out some positives for you. Sorry, I read Speak Your Piece, and they always say they need a bigger carnival. They need to have for your entertainment. This is just what I want to throw out to you. And Chuck, he was on the committee many years. He knows. He'll back us up here, I hope. So, but I'd like to introduce, this is James Coleman, Jesse Prophet, Paulette Sexton, and Joanne Bowden. Okay, we only have like 8 members. And we try to work real hard. But this is just something that I want to highlight of what we do. Okay, first off, the Citizen of the Year is going to be little Christy Bentley here at Smile Bay. She has worked endlessly to help everybody and everything. I mean, she practically lives there, love her heart. Okay, the next, our sound system, to get one from anybody, costs us $2,000 right off the top. Okay, entertainment. This year is going to start, well, we've got some people that are anonymous that gives us money that helps us with that. Right now it's $5,000. I mean, and that's local people, you know, except the one. We're having Sweet Beats, they're from Ohio. They're going to do a Beatles thing. We're having Elvis, Midlife Crisis, Pure and Simple, and Kudzu Killers, a.k.a. Black Bowling Band, I think is what they said they want to be called now. Okay. Our carnival, like we say, we sign a contract that we will give them $5,000 right off the top. If we want more than very small rides and stuff, we have to give them more. His name is Tony Best, Bluegrass Entertainment. He works real well with us, real nice. But he closes up like on Thursday and comes straight up here, drives all night and everything. He gives us 1 hour for the children on Friday. School closes, we work with the school, they're wonderful with us. That 1 hour, these kids get to ride free, but we do have to, he gives us that for the contract and everything. Some of these kids in Jenkins have never had a vacation. This is their vacation.
That's true.
They don't have the money. People want to know why we don't have more. Because we don't have it, you know. We sent letters to Whitesburg Courthouse. Only 2 people have donated to us. Everybody in Jenkins, only 1 person has donated money. I know times are hard, but these are businesses, and these people are here in Jenkins, you know. We're here for the kids. You can ask Todd. Todd said, we'll find it. You got to do it, you know. Todd said, I want a big carnival. Okay. I remember going up 1 acres up the top of the road and going to the carnival. That was the best time of my life, you know. We want this for our kids. Okay. We meet every Tuesday, first Tuesday of the month. If anybody wants to come, they criticize us, we don't care. We're here for them. Okay. I don't know, I want Paulette to show, this is our t-shirt this year. This is from one of the old road maps. It's got some of the old names and everything on it. And this is, we're wanting to bring back with the flood and everything. So this is going to be our t-shirt this year.
That's wonderful.
Does anybody have any questions of what we do and how we do this and everything? We get, like I say, we get donations, we ask for it, you know, from your politicians. Ricky Rose, first check we got. PBA, got to give him some recognition here. And Mike Watts, tent and things. That's, you know.
You guys do the best you can with what you got, and every year, it's good. I mean, these kids love it, you know what I'm saying?
They love it.
And that's what it's about. You're right.
They're still over there in the park playing around. You know, they get out. They have, you know, friends that they run around with. That's the only time they get to see them, some of these kids, you know.
Yeah.
The food's
You talked
great.
about the theme we're talking about.
No, we've not had a meeting since then. They've got their theme, but
That is,
yeah, what Randall had talked about and mentioned is making sure that we recognize volunteers. If you hadn't already had your team, but like Team Rubicon and Weaverland and all the different folks that has come in. So what I was thinking is maybe let's get a banner that says thanks, and then anybody, I know Rubicon's going to be there. Anybody we can recognize.
the thing is, the callers are calling to me because that's a big thing. Even in Lexington, they've got T-shirts, you know.
So you sell the t-shirts, right?
Right.
So, I mean, that's a nice t-shirt. And that people would want. Do you put that on social media where people know and see?
Yeah,
I actually posted a picture today.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Because
The
people-
T-shirts start at 15, but then they charge us a lot extra
Yeah.
for 2X. We've got 2X, 3X, you know. So, like I said, if anybody, you guys want to say
Let me just
anything?
add something, about the carnival. Carnivals is something that's almost a thing of the past. A lot of people don't deal with it, and they're not doing the bigger rides and stuff. I actually checked with, like, Pikeville, anybody's ever been to Hillary Days, of course, they have a phenomenal thing, but the city pays out $35,000.
Wise County Fairs like that too. Things that James drew, they've had that for years, and that's big money. The carnival was the Achilles heel every year. That was on the committee. And you're not going to get much in here because it's hard to find a company that's going to come in here and set up. And then here you're having to pay Tony $5,000.
That's, the contract, we have to guarantee we'll give him $5,000.
Yeah.
Which he will give us a little percentage back.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked with Tony before, and he's a good guy.
Tony's been very good to work with.
But it's, it's not going to be what you expect when you go to Pikeville for Hillbilly Days or to Wise County. It's not going to be that. It's going to be mostly for smaller children.
We get 3 big rides and some blow-ups for the $5,000.
And there was a few years there that we contracted out with certain people and did those games ourselves.
Yeah. Well, this year, we're going to have a hatchet throw, I think. That will be good and dangerous. Make sure insurance is paid. But with our contract, we do get Tony's insurance policy. He's sending us a copy of that, so.
And when we had healthy sponsorship too, we had bigger name musicians over in the park too.
Yeah.
So you had Coke behind you, you had the gas company behind you, you had some checks coming in.
Yeah, I mean, you had several big sponsors, and those are gone now, so.
Yeah, we don't have any big companies here.
Is all the booths rented out this year? I mean, is everybody,
So far, people don't send in their applications. We asked, Paulette is in charge of the food booths. We have a lot of different, we have a lot of different foods this year too,
But like on the entertainment side, 10 years ago, we had Exile. That was our biggest show when I was on the committee.
Right.
The most people in the park. That was $8,500 up front. Plus you had to pay for their travel, you had to pay for their lodging, you had to pay for their food, and all that. So now, I doubt they would come up here for $15,000 plus all this stuff on top of it, which all that I just named has doubled since then. So you're talking $20,000 for, and I'm talking about a band that hasn't had a hit in 40 years, but they're still popular.
Yeah.
But, it's the thing that goes into these festivals is you got to have money, and that money started running dry a while back.
Yeah. I mean, you run it years and years and years.
Well, Mountain Heritage doesn't have the entertainment it used to have. I mean, they can't afford it.
Well, you give people 3 days of entertainment, and that's what you
3
need.
days of fun.
2 days, 2 days.
2 days.
Well, 2 days. But, you know, you should be I mean, to me, what you do, you just gotta be appreciative of what you have and what y'all do. Because it ain't
It's
easy.
free.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's free.
Because if it was easy, then you'd have all kinds of people sitting here helping, you know what I'm saying? It's not. Y'all do the best you can do with it, so I mean.
Yeah, I mean,
So if
It's
anybody at
free.
home is clouded up and it's pulling on your heartstrings, come join, volunteer, help.
That's it right
If you
there.
can't do it, send some money.
That's right.
We need members on that festival committee. We needed them when I was on there, we need them now. I mean, because it takes a lot to pull that thing off.
Yeah, they
And,
don't meet on Wednesday night, and that pulls off Thursday, Friday. It's all year long, they're
Yeah.
trying to pull it together.
but we just want to kind of let y'all know because we're, you know, under you all really. And
Well, if
everything.
nobody's told you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate
Thank
what
you very, very much.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
We do it because we want to, we do it for the children, and we do it for the elderly. They love it, especially Elvis. Now, those women in that park love Elvis, so we would like for everybody to know that Elvis will be here,
In the park.
and then the Beatles, and Midlife Crisis, and Pure and Simple, and Kudzu, AKA Black Ball, I think.
That's right.
So,
And if you don't come, well, we're gonna have a good time without you.
yeah.
Carl Anton told me that one time.
And like I say, if y'all have any questions, just let us know.
Or money.
Yeah, questions or money.
Well, I do want to say, not trying to, Ernestine every year gives us a donation and rents a tent in honor of Becky, her best friend ever, and we appreciate that. She
You're very welcome.
has supported us every year.
You're very welcome. It was really important to her.
Well, we appreciate your efforts. That's the way we end a lot of our state calls now, is we appreciate your efforts, so. We do. And I know what y'all go through, and you can't make everybody happy. And same as always, if you need us, we'll do the best we can. I know April tries to help you when you need it. We'll be there.
Couldn't do without April.
Yeah, and I would like to say, I know I'm out of the South a lot of times, I want to thank our mayor. I will text him and say, this is your worst nightmare, you know, we need yada yada, or can we do this or what? And he has always been there for us. He really has. And he comes to our meetings and gives us good ideas of what we can do or can't do. And if he can't answer it, he says, well, I'll find out from Randy, which we thank Randy for all his backup. So,
Appreciate that. Well, we'll be long, we'll be doing it, so.
Yeah, I know.
I guess I'll see y'all tomorrow night with where we're at with everything.
yes.
But yeah, keep that in mind, is maybe doing a little something extra, that just recognizing the volunteers that's there, that's been in to help, you know, not just from outside, but anybody that's helped in any way they can, because
Well,
that's made a
we're
difference.
going to have like 6/10 of people there still with the flood. NCHC is going to be there with some pamphlets and some handouts. And I think it's the vets. They're going to be there with information. And I think the rehab is coming. And then for our parade, if you all know anybody that wants to be in the parade, it'll be Saturday at 10. They'll do something, what time is it? 11. So, just throwing out if somebody, I think Burdine's going to help us. They're going to have like a king and queen thing to help, so that will help our parade. And like I say, if anybody wants to be in, please let us know. We'll put you right in there.
Where we set the carnival up at? Where we set the carnival up at? I mean, you told me.
Parking lot. Royalties.
Okay.
Royalties, you
I wasn't trying, for some reason I was thinking we were talking about doing it at the museum again. I thought, wait a minute.
No.
That was 15 years ago.
Well, don't forget last time Elvis was here, what happened, so.
Well, I know, but this was a hometown
Yeah,
Elvis.
this is
You
a
know,
different
these are the good
Elvis.
old boys,
Yeah.
good old Elvises.
Elvis is left.
Yeah. And we want to thank the police.
Yeah.
Thank the police. Jim has always been there and everything. So, and the fire department. The fire department runs for us. and I'm gonna hush.
Thank you. Let's see. Tucker, you got anything you want to talk about, or you just hanging out?
Did we do anything on the bids today?
Nothing to approve. I can give you the rundown here before we leave what you sent me.
I didn't know how they were gonna go with Jenkins, so I just came to listen.
Yeah, they're supposed to do the recommendation, and they're still finding out stuff. Well, I mean, you talked this morning, trying to make sure everything's the same. Everybody's fair for everybody.
So pretty much they're gonna get all the bids and then they'll just send you a low bid recommendation.
Well, they'll send the whole list, and then there's one of them that's sort of close, but there's a head wall included that wasn't in the other, and they rank it on 3 or 4 different things I wrote down. I can't remember, but it's, trying to be fair about the whole thing. But they do the grade work and run down all the footwork, and then they make a recommendation, and we can approve it from there. Police report.
Did they do anything on the Whitehall one, the ones from a couple weeks ago?
Not yet.
And the culverts and all that?
No, they're still talking about storm drains too.
Okay.
They were in today, so. Jim, you got your police report?
Not much on that other than what you see there. One thing I would like to say is really appreciate the guys that were doing the paving, and they did a real quick job, and it was done pretty quick. They didn't lose a temper with anybody that was just kind of being goofy about trying to get around them all the time and stuff. I think they did a real good job, so appreciate that. So, other than that, that's about all we've got other than what you got on your report there.
57 complaints, 3 domestic violence, 88 warnings, 5 summonses, 14 arrests, and 9 were warrants, 4 drug related. Appreciate the job they're doing. Keep us safe. Council got anything they want to talk about tonight before we close out?
Patching the hose up. A lot of people's happy.
Oh,
And
we're
I
trying-
would say I made a lot of people happy.
We've got some more, and we're trying to go all over town. The goal is hit all the weeds, the hollers, and patch, and keep it as smooth as we can. People have been,
Cold patch.
Yeah.
We've got that.
People's been real patient, and I appreciate it. And I've not been that patient, because I'll hit a hole and go, wow, we ain't got that. But we're a little behind staffing right now, and just trying to keep caught up. The weeds were supercharged after the flood, so we're just trying to beat them back. And of course, somebody reminded me, you remember when you used to have to take a cold shovel them out the hall and beat the horse weeds back so you could see to pull out. That's a little for my time, so we're trying not to get back to that.
Has there made any progress on the ATV curfew?
We have not.
They're still buzzing all night long on these neighborhoods.
It's been fairly quiet in Whitehall.
Yeah.
Surprisingly enough, since they got the road fixed and then repaved it, traffic's been a lot less, at least by my place now. Apparently they're going out other places, but that's something that definitely need to work on.
It never fails. When I come back from Burdown, I pass 2 or 3. They're on the main highway, flying, no helmets on. Some of these idiots have their children on there with them.
That's the worst thing for me. Those are the ones I definitely give citations to. And I figured I'd get the deal about standing up. Why are they standing up on it? I ain't figured that out yet. It's like,
It's just when I see the children on there like that, it's so dangerous.
and the parents always say, well, we're going slow. Well, the other car might not be going slow. And the other thing too is, how far are you willing to let your child fall and hit its head, whether you're stopped or not? I mean, you're 2 feet off the ground. If this is a child, seriously?
Well, for any of us that drove any time at all, slow's a relative term.
Yes.
For some, it's 25, and some it's 80. But we've got some folks that just absolutely fly up and down the roads here on those, and a majority of them don't have any helmets. And then add insult to injury, they'll gut the mufflers on those things, and the roar will shake the windows when you drive past. So it's way out of hand, and we need to somehow get a handle on it. I don't know how that'll be or what, and I know we can't have people posted on every corner to say, hey, we got one here, but, you know, it's a matter of neighbors needs to be thoughtful of their other neighbors.
It is, and it's not really people that's traveling through here to go to ride the trails. It's our people that's doing it. So I would just say to the police chief, there's KRSs that go along with loud mufflers and low helmets. And again, I'll remind everybody, the actual piece that the state moves under is you got to be 16. Anybody younger than 16 has to be in direct control of their kids. So you can't just say, I know they're riding. If they're 16, the parents are supposed to be with them. So that may help some of that. Wearing helmets, supposed to have a driver's license, and if you've got suspended license, that doesn't mean you can get on a four-wheeler and go up down the road without it. I seen a state trooper talk to a guy about that the other day. Yeah, you know, I think this enforcement, and they've been doing it. I mean, they stop and one stop to them. Second time, they might get a ticket. Third time, they've been putting them on a rollback, and that's been helping. So, you know, try not to get to the second thing. You know, let the warning be the warning, and try to respect people. You know, if it's after dark and late at night, some people work the next day, some don't. But you know, I've seen some go to the Mexican restaurant and they just ease up there, they'll eat and they ease back. And really that's all right. But when they hit the little hump and then they go through the gears, going by the lake, that's not the way it's supposed to be. So. Alrighty, I don't have a lot in the way of report. A lot of things is going on, a lot of meetings. I want to thank Congressman Rogers and Senator McConnell and all the ones that take time out. We got a meeting with Congressman Rogers today. Just want to know where we're at, how we're doing, and what else they can do. We have navigated some things that has been harder to get done in other disasters. Getting feedback from the FEMA folks, they've changed a few ways they do things. I know people's going to say, well, what good that do? But it's made it easier to get people help and to get to the next steps. Right now in the travel trailers, there's 7 trailers occupied for the FEMA side. There's 7 trailers occupied through the state side. They are rolling out every day. Now you got to remember that's from 34. So that's 20 less travel trailers that's occupied, and they're finding their way. And 4 or 5 out of this bunch has got homes being built right now or a place to go. So just remember that we're still trying to take care of all those folks. If you see Team Rubicon or St. Bernard Parish, and I can't name everybody, I was talking to the Mayor Hazard today, and I wished I'd kept a long journal of everybody that called trying to help and came to help, because there's no way we could go back and recall all those folks. But that's what it takes. It takes what we get from FEMA, what we do here, what the volunteers do, and we're going to get back to normal. And if all this other stuff comes through like it's supposed to, it's going to be better than it was before. So we're going to keep working. I'll close out tonight. Keep Scotty in your prayers and your thoughts. He's dealing with health issues, and we miss him, and looking for him to get better and get back to work here. So normally I wouldn't say this, but if anybody wants to help with that, they can drop something off here at City Hall and get a receipt. We'll make sure it gets to the family for them to be able to travel and do the things they need to do for his health.
One more thing.
Okay.
Ellen Compton's on our committee. Me and Bentley, Roy and Tammy Triplett too. But Ellen Compton, if you all see her late at night on the street watering the plants, she carries 22 gallons of water in the back of her car, and she waters those flowers every other night, no matter what. And if you see her, just thank her.
Yeah, I stopped and talked to her and told her she needs to make Ronnie do more.
Yeah. If she won't let you help her. You try to help her, she gets mad at you.
But, she does it all the time. With her heart, she does.
Well, if nothing else, I'd entertain that final motion of the evening.
I'll make a motion.
A second. Motion adjourned, and a second. All those in favor say aye. Thank y'all for coming tonight.